I'm here live from the floor of the NYSE with Jim Cramer. Jim, what's top of mind for you this morning?
Knee-jerk reaction, maybe an opportunity to lighten up with some things like we're doing for the club. Why do I say that? Because nothing's changed. I don't think the market's ready for a death in this country, which could happen. I don't think the market's ready yet for the WHO to declare the coronavirus a pandemic. I think that the market very much wants to bounce back from a big down day, and we've had a couple of down days, but we're still not even under not negative on the oscillator. I know that it may be right to do some picking, but only when it's down. See, that's my problem. I come in on a day like today, and the only stock that's down big is 3M, and we went over that pretty effectively on our interview with Mike Roman. So, I mean, what I see is a market that, now you can say, listen, you were too late. But you're not too late to sell. Do a little trimming.
So you mentioned 3M, and I just want to hit on that quickly because they did post earnings that did not meet expectations, and then they said that they are going to do a restructuring plan that lays off 1,500
Mike Roman
people.
said they did meet expectations. I said that then your expectations are too low, because if your expectations are all negative, I'd like to think that you underpromised and therefore you can overdeliver, and we did not get that. Not at all.
Based on their plan to restructure the company, when should investors feel confident about 3M again?
4% yield maybe, because the yield's safe. The problem is twofold. The business is weak, and this PFAS litigation involves groundwater. Groundwater is something that is sanctified. You do not destroy groundwater, and 3M's PFAS did. Okay, so it's very difficult to get your arms around when that's going to end.
Over on Real Money this morning, you penned yet another column on the coronavirus and your reaction to it.
You know, I just was saying, see, there's this, I was kind of being soul-searching about my job. I want to be able to install some degree of calm, because panic never made anybody money. But then I read things like what I read in Zero Hedge. That was, basically just says, listen, it's going to be Walking Dead. Now he'll say, no, it wasn't meant to be Walking Dead. It's Tyler Durden. I don't think that's a real name, by the way. But, look, I can string together anything. But against that, I come back and say, okay, Ebola, we all thought that we were going to die. Chernobyl, thought we were going to die. Fukushima, pretty good chance we're going to die. SARS, maybe we're going to die. And, those are all things that went through people's head. And, you just have to worry that people can get too negative. Now, that doesn't mean you go by J.P. Morgan up 3 because of what I just said, that it seems like crazy. No, I'm just saying that you can lighten up and maybe get a better price when the next level of news flow is more negative. If we did not have impeachment and yesterday the sad death of Kobe Bryant, I think what would happen is it would have been the lead. When it's the lead, it's scary, and the more work you do on it, the more you realize that Wuhan was a bad actor in this. But then again, in 2003 for SARS, we didn't have gene sequencing. We have powerful antivirals that might be working. For all I know, the market's up because somebody knows something that's working. But the bond market rates are down because no one seems to know about whether anything's working. So I came in with what was I meant to be a mixed picture. I reiterate that it's a mixed picture, but I don't like to buy up. Not after a big decline. It's just not my style. I'm willing to miss it.
So let's talk about that big decline, because yesterday we saw the Dow close down 440 some odd points, and today we've got at 10:39 a.m. we're up 186 points on the Dow. So was that reaction overdone, or was it needed?
No, I think that there are lots of people. There's still a lot of money that wants to come in the market. You take a stock like J&J, all right? Not going to be involved in any way other than positive with the illness. J&J's is working on doing something about the illness. J&J's had a very strong quarter. So J&J is, the talc litigation seems under control right now. So people buy J&J. Is that smart? I don't know. How about buying at 147? When it goes down. I just don't want to buy up 90. I don't want to buy anything up 90 cents. United Health is up $2.25. That's not a buy. Not ahead of Bernie Sanders perhaps winning the Iowa primary.
Boeing has reportedly, the caucus, Boeing has reportedly secured $12 billion in fundraising, or in financing,
Right.
my bad. Jim, based on that, if the banks are feeling confident in Boeing, should investors?
Well, look, I think Boeing's going to solve this. I just don't know what form. I mean, are they going to solve it by not having a plane called the MAX? Are they going to solve it by everyone's having simulation training? I don't know how they're going to solve it, but they are going to solve it. And right now, it costs $100 million for United Technologies per month. And still, United Technologies did pretty good. So that's also because the Raytheon deal is about to close. I feel a little more sanguine about Boeing because they're doing everything they can now. Under Muhlenberg, they were doing mixed things. They were still not being as forthcoming. They're very forthcoming now.
Apple is our real money stock of the day. We're going to talk about it more in depth over on Action Alerts Plus. But Jim, I do want to get your just quick thought here. What's the one thing investors need to watch when Apple reports earnings after the bell?
Okay, you've got to see what kind of haircut they give China, both for manufacturing and for sales. And remember, this is a very conservative company. It has boots on the ground, it has numbers daily. Obviously, China's a bit of a ghost town. The Chinese economy maybe can't handle this. I don't think that they can be at all bullish. However, I think people will look through that in the way that United Technologies look through it, in the way that a lot of companies like American Express will look through it, PayPal look through it. So we got to see. I can't be jumping up and down about it, given the fact that it's had such a big run and you do have this China morass. But, I think they're going to do okay.
All right, Jim, thanks for joining us today. We are now heading over to our Action Alerts Plus Daily Rundown Show over on actionalertsplus.com. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm Catherine Ross, and we'll see you tomorrow.